Hello everyone, welcome to the Isekai Corner where we force my best friend to read Isekai manga.
In this episode of the Isekai Corner, we are going to be covering Chapter 2 of Shield Hero.
Tate no Yushi no Narigati.
You're a weeb.
You deal with it, fool.
We did say this in the original video, the first chapter, but please support the official release.
It is very important, and as I said, he's not eating if you guys aren't subscribing.
Support the official release because unless it's just not available in your country, I try to find a legal source. Like a lot of Shonen Jump manga is like the most popular stuff right now. It's $2 a month. If you can't afford $2 a month, then you can't afford internet. So how are you reading it anyway?
Yeah, I mean really, because you can just change $10 and make it doable.
It's the price of a candy bar.
Yeah.
All right. Well, starting.
That's what I did.
We're on Chapter 2. In the last chapter, we ended off with Sophia, the lady that joined his party. She was hovering over him, sleeping like a creeper.
And what I find funny about it is, why does she get to creep him? Isn't she kind of like, why isn't she the one that's doing something pretty bad right now? Looking at somebody when they're asleep. That's creepy.
Well, we're about to find out.
We'll find that out pretty soon.
But anyway, we're starting off with the main character. Fumi is waking up, and all of his stuff is gone. Gee, I wonder where it could have gone. He thinks it's a thief. As he's looking for his stuff, a bunch of guards come in and are saying he is being under arrest for suspicion of assault. YouTube will get rid of us, and we will never be able to use YouTube again if we actually mention the naughty word that YouTube does not like. So we're going to just be calling it assault. Fill in the blanks in your head, or hopefully you're following along with us.
That would kind of help a lot, so we don't have to say certain words that we're not allowed to say. Sorry, guys.
But they arrest him and take him to the castle, leading us to the scene from the very beginning of the manga.
Just to mention, he did say, I'm the victim here. My stuff was stolen. Because, he was stolen. He was robbed.
Good for him. Like they'll believe that. That's what they all say.
Oh, yeah.
But the king obviously doesn't believe him when he's trying to defend himself. He's getting yelled at and told he is some kind of monster for assaulting this poor woman. Granted, we didn't see what happened after the chapter ended, so he very well could have.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
He seems like a nice guy.
Mainly because of what happens next. The main character, Naofumi, starts to call out to the girl who he was with on his adventure the previous chapter. And she is crying, and she is with the douchey Lance hero. And the Lance hero claims that he was there when it happened. He claims that he saw it all went down, and he stopped it.
It's a pretty good idea that you said he's a jerk, because there you go.
Yeah.
I've been waiting for you to, it's so hard to actually what I can and can't say here for just, it's difficult because I've watched everything.
And I noticed that the Lance hero is actually, he has equipped the armor that Shield hero Naofumi had bought the previous day from the Sword Online blacksmith.
You're talking about the chainmail, right?
Yes.
That's a very important thing to notion. Remember that. Take a note, everybody. Right there, that picture, that's very important.
The main character, Naofumi, he starts to be a little bit emo. He's like, why do I have to be insulted like this? Why me? Why me? Why am I being treated like this? If he, thought for 5 seconds, he'd understand why he's being treated like this. If somebody gets accused of that kind of crime, of course they're going to be treated like garbage. Mm-hmm. And then Sophia decides to stick her tongue at him and do a little Japanese pull down the eye thing and stick her tongue out. Pretty much confirming my suspicion that, that never happened. He didn't do anything to her. He went to sleep, and then she stole all of his stuff and ran back to Sir Lance douche.
Hence why, specifically, just because you guys mentioned MMO people, did you figure it out early that, something's wrong with this? If you're an MMO and they're helping you, where's your experience? How's that going? We'll explain this next in the next chapter more, but those are your hints. Continue, guys.
Well, he starts to try to defend himself and say that she's a liar, but obviously the people in the courtroom are not going to believe him. Even the other heroes are like, well, why would he steal from you when he's got enough money for himself? Which, fair enough. If I was in their shoes, I wouldn't believe him either.
For me, at this exact point, I would be noticing them and him because it's like he's already the victim. You got to watch everybody. And they're all just looking at him, so everybody can just do whatever they want, look however they want, and they can see things. And with how it looks like, everybody's looking at the victim, and that's fine, I get that, but you need to look at everyone. Everyone you look around. If you've ever been in a court, you look at everyone's faces.
Well, they're not looking at the victim, they're looking at the perpetrator.
Well, yeah.
If they were looking at the victim, they would have noticed her making
Well, that's the
faces.
thing. He's the victim because he
No,
just got
he's
robbed.
not the victim. She is.
Yeah, that's what everybody thinks.
When
But they're looking. That's the problem. They're not looking at their victim then, because their eyes that's hers. She's the victim, and he's the savior of that. And okay, fine. That's how they're looking at it. But you should still be looking at them, see how they're doing.
Clearly,
and when they smile, it's like, why are you smiling? What's up with that?
You gotta remember, this is based on the Middle Ages. In the Middle Ages, you were guilty until proven innocent, rather than innocent until proven guilty.
Yeah, and it's really stupid.
I mean, look at the way they did witches. If you floated like a wooden duck, you're either a duck or a witch.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, the people that really knows what they were doing is the spear hero. The spear hero. Everybody, you want
Don't
to
call
say
him a
it's
hero. He's not a hero.
He's not a saint. He's not a hero.
He's not a spear hero. He's not a hero.
Person. He's supposed to be a hero, but he's not.
His name from now on is Sir Lansadouche.
Yeah, I could deal with that. I could deal with
Because
this.
he uses a lance and he's a douche.
Because they literally planned it, and here's specifically where it is. Boom, right there. That boom. Just remember what's going on in the next chapter, because somebody's going to teach that, or it might be in this one. We'll double check. Let's continue.
My point was that I'm not really going to fault the sword and bow hero for thinking that he did it, because, you know, why would they not trust two people's word over his? They don't know this guy. Like, they have no reason to believe he didn't do it.
Yeah, and then this one I can actually talk a bunch, because this is just a terrible thing. So we have a lot of content on here for this. But like how would you feel if you know you didn't do anything, but you're about to get, you're going to be treated that you did? That's terrible. Nobody wants that.
I don't really agree. I don't agree with the main character, Nafumi. I don't agree with him blaming the other people. Like, I get him feeling bad and being angry.
Well, you're angry.
But,
he's
like,
20.
he shouldn't blame the bow hero or the sword hero.
That's 5 years ago. I could say I was pretty angry. I would be angry that's like, what are they doing? Nobody's trying to help me. They all think I've been there. They've been scoffing of like what I am. What did I do to you? I didn't do anything to you. I haven't even talked to you. I've barely even talked a paragraph to you.
Well, regardless, we get some interesting information here after this. The Nafumi says, if you hate me that much, you can just send me back to where I came from. Like, send me home. If I get isekai'd out, you can isekai me right back, right? Well, the king points out that there's nothing they could do to him. They can't send him back, because in order for them to get new heroes, all of them have to die first. So,
or so my researchers have told me.
Yeah, the researchers told him that.
Because obviously he's a king and he's
the
dumb
main
and he doesn't do
character,
much.
Nafumi, being the smart man he is, because he's a very smart man, as we come to learn, he decides, okay, I'm going to take the Mu school of the Assassin of Mu school of learning, and I'm going to use that against them and say, hey, go ahead and kill me then. I'm going to do whatever I want. If you want to stop me, well, I guess you're going to have to kill everybody else too, because then you won't have your hero and stop the demons.
Then he literally says, serves you. Am I allowed to see that next word?
No.
I
don't like that word.
Okay,
don't get us canceled.
He calls them the R word.
Don't make me have to cancel you. I'll get my Twitter mob on you.
Okay.
My Twitter mob of like 7 followers.
Serves you R word right. That's how he is. But he's got his anger in there. Like he's got, and I mean, like, honestly, if that's how I was, if somebody said that, I've never done that, I would be livid.
So since the king can't really punish him, because, you know, he needs him to help fight the demons, he instead tells the entire town what he apparently did as punishment, and lets him go free, leading to the blacksmith. That the Sword Art Online blacksmith shows up again, and he I think he's testing him. Here. He's like, hey, I heard about how you tried to assault your comrade. Allow me to hit you once myself. And the shield hero's like, go ahead. And the blacksmith's like, oh, well, didn't expect you to say that, but and then the shield hero starts to leave, and
he just says, I've seen
the blacksmith's like, hey, you remind me of Kirito. Here, take some gear, and throws some bag of gear at him.
He does not look like Kirito.
No, I didn't say you look like him. I said he reminds him of Kirito.
Yeah, because he was totally mad about everything.
He's an emo main character.
Oh yeah, that's totally Kirito. He was always being an emo.
Kirito is the definition of emo.
Really? He's pretty charismatic. So what I'm trying to say is that Kirito is very charismatic. Like he only did one thing just to seem like, oh, I'm a beater.
He's
I'm
a boring main character.
Beta tester. Like, you know, he made him hate something, and then he does that. Whatever. And then honestly, that all completely seemed to drop. Honestly, overall from there.
I don't care. He's a boring main character.
I mean, Kirito, yes.
I like Naofumi way more than Kirito. Kirito's not even the best black swordsman. That's guts.
For me, it was just more interesting how they were doing it, and I would like to play a game like that.
We should do Berserk.
We can do Berserk.
Because I've read part of Berserk, but I've not gotten up to whatever the frick the eclipse is that people always talk about.
Oh, we'll get there. But continue, sir.
That'll be interesting.
Continue.
Let me know in the comment section below if you want us to read Berserk.
Oh, we'll have to say a lot of random words that we're gonna have to learn to put in instead, buddy.
But yeah, he throws a bag of gear at Naofumi and says, "Hey, these are on clearance. Here, have them. I'm not going to use them." Oh, he's being nice. He's being a nice dude. I like this blacksmith guy. He's cool so far, despite the fact he's from Sword Art Online.
And he even screams, "You come back safe, you hear?" That's pretty nice
So
of him.
clearly he doesn't believe whatever they told him.
Yeah, he already doesn't believe it.
But the Naofumi goes back out to where the balloon monsters are. We mentioned in the first chapter, and starts fighting them. And it's trying to like get level up. He levels up to level 2, and he finds a medicinal herb. He finds a leaf that looks like something that he got from the old man, and his shield like reacts to it and like dissolves it and gives him like almost like an alchemy, like in Skyrim. When you pick up a leaf, it like gives him the details of what it is.
Some of it depends on how you're out.
It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
It says, due to the usage of the medical herbs, the restrictions on the leaf shield have been lifted. He's like Mega Man. He's got a leaf shield.
Yep.
And then he sees a skill tree, and he sees just how much crap the shield hero can learn by just doing stuff like picking up leaves.
Yeah, just look at how many brackets they have there, and that's just after what he starts from that. Like, yeesh, that's awesome.
He unlocked the leaf shield.
I would love
it
playing
looks
this
kind of like a heart. It's kind of weird looking.
By the by, I would just love to play this game. If they actually make a video game. You don't have to play as him. You just play as any of them. You can change it, make a story about it. That'd be cool.
But then he goes to a shop and asks, "Hey, how much is this leaf? How much would it be worth?" And the shop owner tries to extort him. Well, little does the shop owner know that once again, Naofumi went to the school of the Assassin of Mu, and he has those little balloon monsters under his coat, ready to extort the shopkeeper for being a douchebag.
He's not even getting damage. His HP is fine.
Yeah, he's a defense hero. It's not going to hurt him.
So there are perks with that.
But he's kind of becoming an anti-hero instead of a regular main hero that we see in a lot of shows. He's becoming an anti-hero.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I mean, he's different. He's very different. And then there's drunk people. They were going to join him. First and foremost, the employment system is completely commission-based. And then 40% of the earnings goes to him and free to do what you want.
Yeah,
first.
it's because a bunch of dudes, a couple of guys walk up to him and they start kind of like, they know who he is. Well, at least they know who they think they know who he is. And they're like, "Oh, hey, let's join him because he's by himself." I'm assuming they think he's like a bad person like they are. So it's like, "Oh, cool. He'll join our group and we'll be able to take advantage of his shield." Well, Naofumi's like, "Oh, well, if you're going to join me, I hope you know I'm getting the big cut of the profit here." And
not even. He's only taking 40% of the earnings.
40% split 3 ways is most of the profit. That's math. But the two guys don't really take well to that. And they pull out a knife and try to threaten him. Well, he throws a balloon at him, a balloon monster, and it like eats the guy's hand. It's pretty great. I actually kind of chuckled at that. I didn't laugh like too hard, but I chuckled at it. I think it'd have been funnier if it was animated. But it was still pretty funny.
We'll get you to get to the anime later afterwards, just because.
If I like it enough.
I think you will.
We're only on chapter 2 now.
If not, I'll just kidnap somebody else.
So here's the cool thing about being an anti-hero and being having a bad reputation. You're more attractive to the people who have bad reputations that are in town and that are willing to like black market kind of dealings. So this creepy guy looks like the Penguin from Batman. He pops out with his curly, snively whiplash mustache.
You appeared concerned, young man.
And the Oscar goes to Isekai Alex.
Yep.
But he basically notices as a shield hero, and obviously because of his reputation, he's like, "Oh, I can trust this guy because this guy's a bad guy like I am." And he takes him into his shop, and in his shop, he has slaves. He sells demi-humans. Demi-humans are basically mutants. They're like people who have something wrong with them. That's kind of what he says.
Well, I mean, they're slaves, and he
claims they have something wrong with them, but he pulls the classic, oldest trick in the book. You show the customer the most expensive thing in your shop, and then you start going lower to try to get them to buy.
He literally says, "You know very well what I can't buy, so you show me the most expensive one, right?"
Yeah.
Well, yes, you're our customer.
Naofumi is
very good eyes.
Naofumi is smart, unlike Kirito. So he knows that this level 75 wolf is not actually being sold to him. It's the old used car salesman trick. Show him the Tesla in order to get him to buy the Beetle.
Yeah.
Well, he says, "All right, well, you showed me this expensive one. All right, we'll get to the point. Show me what you want me to buy." So he asks for...
What kind of product are you looking for?
What are you buying? What are you selling?
Oh, you sure I'm the creepy man?
Hey, that's a reference to Resident Evil 4.
Fair enough. Well, he straight up says something cheap that isn't already broken down, preferably something that isn't meant for use at home. A male would be nice.
Which is not even like there's no reason he said that because it does not factor into anything.
He literally said it because
I know he says it, but it does not mean anything because he doesn't. Spoiler alert: he doesn't end up going with a male.
I mean, he doesn't, but he did specifically say it just because he doesn't want to let the rumor continue.
It's dialogue put in there for the sake of dialogue. It doesn't actually mean anything.
In which case, it will be geared towards battle, but its skills will be deficient.
He's basically looking for somebody to fight for him since he can't fight himself. Well, he gets taken to a back room where all the defective products are, the slaves that are the worst of the bunch. And
You're just gonna gloss over the fact that.
Yes, I'm gonna gloss over it.
Also above that rammer, he slams it. I didn't do it. I see. You do seem different than the man mentioned. So he does mention that, and he's a person that appreciates that, like, what's going on. He's a salesman. He learns, and he's like, yeah. I don't think he actually.
I got you. Him slamming his hand is so important.
That's important.
Well, he looks under a tarp. What looks like a tarp, a tarp or a curtain. I can't really tell what it is. And he sees a little Neko girl. I think she's Neko. She's either Neko or she's like a dog.
Raccoon. Very specific dimensions.
But play Nekopara, by the way, if you haven't. It's on Switch. Shout out to the company that makes Nekopara. Hashtag not sponsored. But I'm not sure who he's talking about. He says she's the same sex as that person. I don't know if he's talking about Sophia or if he's talking about somebody from his real life. They don't really go into details of who he's talking about.
Really kind of makes you know what he's really from.
He asks what her name is, and she's kind of like timid and shy. She's just a little girl. She looks like she's like 6 years old. And she tells him her name is Raftalia. Now, this is the only thing I know about Shield Hero before I read this. I know Raftalia is the name of a person, a female character in this show. So I knew right away that he was going to pick her because I've heard people in the anime community talking about, oh, Raftalia is so awesome. Oh, Raftalia sucks.
Panel top to the left right there, that'll tell you. Compared to the fox species, the raccoons are not at all popular, and that tells you about her.
Still going to call her a Neko girl. I don't care.
Yeah, that's fine, but it is a raccoon lady and prone to panic attacks and severe from disease.
I'm pretty sure raccoons are part of the cat family, but I'll have to look that up later. Do my own research. But he says he doesn't look too much different than a normal human. Her body seems she's completely terrified. He wants to make her a slave. Smart guy. Because, you know, nobody's going to willingly join him at this point other than a bunch of scoundrels who want to take his money.
I mean, yeah, that kind of makes sense. I mean, like, it's terrible, but, like, literally, what can you do?
So
like,
the chapter ends with him taking her as his slave. Should be interesting. I don't really understand why people put her on, like, waifu lists and stuff, considering she's, like, 6 years old. It's kind of creepy.
16. Pretty high on those numbers,
Six.
Buddy.
She looks like she's six.
6. Okay, it's just 6.
She doesn't look like a 1,000-year-old lolly. She looks like a 6-year-old.
Yeah. We'll get to that later in a few chapters. It'll show up.
Really creepy.
It takes a few chapters, then they explain it.
What's going on with that?
Do you have any questions about it while we're at this? So.
Well, I hope that they don't force a romance on this. I don't want them to force a romance between these two because that would be creepy. I'd rather them do like a brother-sister type thing, or like a dad-daughter type thing, where she looks up to him as a family and not like as a lover, because that would be really creepy. Considering she's like 6 and he's like 20-something.
Yeah, I can understand where you're at. It'll be very interesting later. There's some things that I want to see how you're going to react, to the point where I might record as you go it, just because we could put that in exactly this is how he felt, and I'm going to put it in there just because, like, there's some interesting situations.
He says this stuff like he's the one that's going to be editing these videos, but he forces me to edit them, so.
Oh, well, I'm sorry you didn't.
I will once again ask for you to send help.
No, you don't need to help him. I mean, I'm sorry. I left him one box of pizza, lukewarm, in there. That should get you for a few days.
He doesn't know this, but I also stole a bag of Doritos from him that he doesn't know where they are.
Son of a mother. God. Now I'm gonna be looking for it. I'm. You know what, guys? Do you have any more questions before we get out of here?
Nope, that's about it.
All right. Well, I'm leaving here for another week. You guys, if you get at least 50 good comments or something, or 50 likes, then I will leave you be for 1 week. A free week. I will not kidnap you.
You're gonna let me go?
Not forever, but like I will give you a week off. I'll give you a week off.
All right. Well, we'll be back next week with chapter 3.
Hope you guys love for it.
All right, have a good one.